This x value stores the real part because I'm going to deal with a complex number toString method, so which prints the x, y, z value. C1 is of type complex, C2 is of type complex. That's what you need to remember. What type of operator is this? Is equal to, you're trying to overload this comparison operator. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the yet another session on operator overloading. So guys, what exactly I have in the session for all of you? Yeah, it's going to be a very important topic to all of you if you guys are watching operator overloading. So guys, today's topic is all about overloading plus operator. That's going to be the binary operator, and also I will be explaining how exactly we can overload the comparison operator. All right, so without wasting much of your time, let me take a program and then let me explain the concept, what exactly we do in the operator overloading, especially binary operator. That's going to be the plus operator. Let's start with the program. So guys, this is the simple program that I have taken to explain the concept of overloading the plus operator. Observe carefully. So you all know that I have a system namespace, and here I have a keyword called class. If I want to declare any class, I have to use a keyword called class, and the name of the class that I have taken here is complex. All right, so I have declared two variables of type double. That's going to be the x and y. So x is a variable of type double and y is a variable of type double. So you need to remember. And this x value stores the real part because I'm going to deal with a complex number. So complex number has got two different parts. One is real part, another one is imaginary part, is what we need to remember. So fine, when it comes to the real part, I will be storing that in the x variable, and when it comes to the imaginary part, I'll be storing the value in the y variable, is what you need to remember. So fine, and I have a function here which does not have any return type. So I know, and also I don't have anything inside the function. So what type of function is this? So the name of the function is complex. You need to remember, whenever the name of the function or the method is same as class name, you have to treat that as a constructor. So fine, I understood that complex is a constructor. So what type of constructor is this? So can I call this as a default constructor? Yes, you can call that as a default constructor because I don't have any parameters inside. Cool then. The next one, could you please identify what exactly that I have here? Yes, my dear students. So this is a constructor of what type? Parameterized constructor. How many parameters I'm passing? I'm passing two parameters. One is double, another one is, come on, that is also of type double. So that's what you need to remember. I'm passing two parameters, so real and imaginary. So that's what you need to remember, and I'm assigning that to the x and y. So fine, there is no big deal in this. We're not discussing anything in this part with respect to the overloading, is what you need to observe. So fine, coming back to the major part of the program, which explains the concept of operator overloading, especially binary operator. So that is plus. What is the syntax that I have to take a little care whenever I'm explaining that? So guys, you have to remember this part of the program. So if you make any mistake in this part, then it is gone. So that's what you need to remember. Observe here, I have the public and static. It's a mandatory keywords that I have to use whenever I'm defining any method if I want to overload any operator. So which we have discussed in the previous session, right? So then after that, I have to mention the return type, what type of value that I'm returning here. So guys, I'm trying to return the value of type complex, is what you need to remember. So fine, complex is a type, and after that, I have to use a keyword called operator. So if you want to overload any operator, so you have to use a keyword called operator, and then I have to overload the plus operator, is also you need to remember. So fine, so which operator you're trying to overload? Plus operator, and you all know that plus is a binary operator. So cool. Then after that, I have two numbers which I'm taking. So is it a number, sir? It's a variable, C1 and C2. C1 is of type complex. C2 is of type complex. That's what you need to remember. So I'm having two objects. I'm not passing two variables or two parameters. Yes, of course, it's a parameters, but of what type? So this C1 and C2. So guys, C1 and C2 is an object, so which I have created for complex, is what you need to remember. So fine. So inside this, I'm creating one more object, that is C3. So I'm allocating a memory using this new keyword, is what you need to observe here. Observe what are the calculation that we are doing here. C3 is equal to C1.x plus C2.x, and I'm calculating the x value of C1 and C2, and y value of C1 and C2 is what I'm calculating, and I'm storing it in the C3, and then finally I will return C3. That's what I'm doing here. So this is one thing, and then finally I will be using display function to display the value. All right, so I'll be using the display function to display the value. I'll just use print statement to print the x value and y value of C3 is what you need to remember. So here, all right, so when it comes to this part, obviously you need to have the main function for all the programs is what you need to remember. So guys, when it comes to the main function, so you will have to create the objects with the complex. So that's going to be the complex ABC. What is complex ABC? ABC is the objects which you are creating for this class is what you need to remember. So fine, then after that you're allocating the memory and you're sending the value for this objects whatever you have created. All right, so fine, observe here 2.5 and 3.5. So 2.5 is a value for real and imaginary which you are passing it as a parameter, all right, from there itself. And same thing happens 1.6 and 2.7 for the second object which you have created. Again, you're passing and you're assigning the values is what you need to remember. So finally, I'll perform A plus B and then I will print the values. Okay, after performing this, I will print, I will call this function A.display and then again, I will print the B values. Again, I will call B.display. So individual objects is trying to call the display. Okay, display function in the sense I'll be just printing the x value and y value of C3 is what you need to remember. So finally I just have the display function after C. So that's what you need to observe when we are trying to overload. The main thing that you need to observe here is this. Okay, so this is what you need to concentrate if you want to try to understand how do we overload the binary operator is what you need to remember. So fine, let me show you one more program which speaks about how do we use the comparison operator, how do we overload the comparison operator. So you all know that is equal to is a comparison operator. So how do we overload that? So let's check that with a simple program that you have. So I think I don't have to explain the basic things once again which we have discussed in the previous program. So guys, I have taken a class called, the class name is vector here, and we have created 3 variables x, y, z. All right, so after that, so we have a default constructor that's going to be the vector, and then again I have a parameterized constructor where I have int a, b, c, 3 variables I have, and I'm assigning the values to x, y, z. Cool. So after that, observe here, I have one of the function which I'm trying to override. Okay, so that is toString method, so which prints the x, y, z value. All right, so this function is trying to print x, y, z value. Cool. Are we doing anything with respect to the overloading here? No, we're not doing anything here. So after this, observe the operator overloading starts from here. Cool. So guys, public static is a keyword which it is a mandatory if I'm using the operator overloading, and then observe what type the value it is trying to return. So vector type, and I have to use the keyword operator and plus. Sir, you spoke about comparison operator, but we have plus, which is a binary operator. So what is that, sir? Yes, so this is a binary operator. I will explain. So in the coming part of the program, we have comparison operator also. So what we have discussed in the previous program, same thing is there. So that's what you need to remember. Vector u3 is equal to new vector object you're trying to create, that is u3, and you're performing the addition of u1 plus x and u2 plus y, and same thing, you are performing for both u1, u3.x, u3.y, u3.z. So you will perform this operation and then finally you will return the value that is u3, complete object. The same way, I will also use minus operator. I will also overload minus operator. Same thing, whatever I have done in the previous overriding, okay, same thing I have performed here, and I will return the u3 value. Observe here exactly I'm trying to overload the comparison operator. Okay, so this is what you need to remember. So here and here we are trying to overload the comparison operator is what you need to remember. So guys, you all know that public static is a keyword that we are trying to use, and then what type this function or this method is returning. So it is returning the type like boolean. Okay, that's what you need to remember, true or false. Your answer will be in the form of true or false, and obviously I have to use a keyword called operator. What type of operator is this? Is equal to, you're trying to overload this comparison operator. So guys, whenever you're using this, you have to use this. The opposite meaning of this is not equal to, that you all know, right? So, and I'm passing two objects of type vector, u1 and u2, and I'm trying to compare here. If the comparison is true, all right, so it returns true, otherwise false. Same thing will happen in the opposite way. If u1 and u2 is not equals, then it will return true, otherwise false. So this is how we override the comparison operator. And of course, I have the main function here, which helps me to create the u1, u2 objects, and also I will create u3 and u4. So which performs u3 performs u1 and u2. Remember, and u4 performs u2 and u2 minus u1. And then I will print all the values of u1, u2, u3, u4. Then I will check if u1 is equal to u2, u1 is equal to u2 is what I will print. Else I will print u1 is not equal to u2. So this is how I will be overriding or overloading the comparison operator. This is the main thing that you need to remember in this program. Whenever you get a question on comparison overloading, so you just have to take care of these two things. You should not make mistake in this. This is the major thing that you are going to address in this program whenever you are answering about the comparison operator is what you need to remember. So guys, by this, I've come to an end of this chapter. So thank you. Bye-bye. Take care of your health.